Today, boys. Screen's a little smaller. It's just me. Um, I'm going to bring you an episode. We're just going to talk about what we saw over the weekend with the NFL games. We're going to dive straight into it. I'm not even going to diddle dally with you. I'm just gonna hit it running. So first. First and foremost, probably one of the better games of the weekend was the Chargers versus the Vikings game. Um, I'm going to quickly go through all these games with you real quick. Every game that I watched, I will kind of give my breakdown of what I thought and what I seen over the games, what I saw over the weekend. So first things first, Chargers Vikings, right? I mean, yes, there was a little bit of pass rush on Herbert, but in my opinion, Herbert literally could do whatever he wanted to that whole game. He didn't seem like he was ever, overly stressed out. The Vikings, they didn't get to him as much as you kind of hoped they would, which begs the question: the Vikings are 0-3 now. You've lost. So last year you had the ability to win close games. This year you have the ability to not win those said close games. Chargers finally got a needed win. I mean, I think at this point it was overdue. Either one of these teams, you were going to say that was going to come out of your mouth was it was overdue for them to have a win. Vikings, I mean, looking ahead 1 week, they're going to play the Panthers. Fan favorite, but it's not looking good for them. So look for the Vikings to easily get themselves back on track with a 1-3. I don't even know what to put the Panthers at this moment, but we're not talking about them right now. Chargers, their next game, look for them to take. I think they're going to take advantage of the Raiders. The Raiders just don't seem like they know everything that's happening with that roster and how it's being, I guess, made. Like, Josh Jacobs is has 68% of the rushing yards for the team. I think they showed the stat line on that during the game, but they don't even run the ball, so it's highly questionable. They just want to gunsling it the whole game, but you can't just do that. I mean, just questionable things. But Chargers are going to be probably looking really good at 2-2. That allows them to keep pace with the Chiefs. And then they're hoping that, maybe the Chiefs, more teams will start trying to beat up on Patrick Mahomes. You saw the Bears roll on his ankle a little bit, but for the most part, looking at this game, it looks like the second quarter was the blatant quarter, but the rest were trying to do anything in their willpower to try to help the Vikings in any which way they could. It didn't matter, though. Chargers overcame. As stupid of a call going on 4th and 2. The pass rush was getting to Kirk Cousins consistently towards the end of the game. You held the ball for a while. You got their defense rest. You could have punted it down the field. They would have to go the whole length. They had to score a touchdown, so they had to go more yards than when they would. There's a lot of factors. It would have been better just to punt the ball right there. You lucked out, and it is what it is. You lucked out. Saints-Packers, I didn't really watch this game. I'm not going to lie to you. It was a 17-0 game the whole time. I didn't really watch it. So I'll dwell a little bit on it. I watched the end of it, of the Saints, after it was 18-17, the last drive the Saints had. They kept commentating. I didn't watch all of it, but they kept commentating that ever since Derek Carr left the game, the wide receivers just weren't running the correct routes. People kept ending up in the same spots. And I noticed that, they would bump each other on the route, or they both would end up in the same spot. There was something wrong once Derek Carr left the game. That's all we have to say on that game. Bills, Washington. I didn't watch a single lick of this game. Sorry, not sorry. It was a complete blowout. Things happen. We digress. We move on. Atlanta Lions. So this is where you're going. If you're Atlanta, and their game in London against Jacksonville is going to be really critical to the point of, do you finally say it's time to say Desmond Ritter ain't it? Because I think there's some point in time where you have to say that he's just not it. Because they realized during that game, if we stop Bijan Robinson and we stop Tyler Algier, we can win this game. They held the Falcons. All the Falcons can really do is run the ball. They held the Falcons to 44 yards. Yeah, it's going to say that Desmond Ridder threw for 201 yards. This man got sacked like negative a billion yards. They don't block long enough for him. You know, I think Tyler Heineke needs his chance. See what he can do with this offense, because at this current moment, you're looking at the Saints going down, and you're looking at the debacle that the Eagles just put on the Buccaneers during Monday night. Falcons got to be saying to yourself, we can easily win this division, and then we can make it not even close. That's something that they should be looking towards and for the future at, because this is a completely winnable division for them. The Lions, I have such high hopes for Jahmyr Gibbs. Like, I would think they're going to try to do the same thing the Falcons are doing. You know, you go out and you draft early a running back. You're going to use the crap out of him. David Montgomery's not playing. Oh, man, he's going to get a touchdown. When they get in the end zone, they don't even look his way. They don't do. He's non-existent. I mean, I think he's getting down the field wise. He's doing a great job. Getting the ball going down the field, doing a great job. They're one of the few teams that's actually, in my opinion, mixing run with pass like a perfect amount. But I want to see more Jahmyr Gibbs. Especially if Amon-Ra is like a little injured, a little banged up right now. Perfect time to get a little bit more Gibbs action. So, Titans, Browns. Okay, this is going to be that time where they're the Titans and you're saying to yourself, all of the teams in our division are 1-2 except for the Colts. We don't know if the Colts are that good or not, but they're 2-1. But arguably, we think we can catch them. So we need to figure out what we're going to do, and we need to figure out now. And one of those things may be just saying, Tannehill, it's over. He just doesn't look good anymore. O-line can't protect him. He has to keep scrambling and running for his life. Derrick Henry doesn't have any running lanes. When Derrick Henry's in the game, the opposite team, the opposing team, just looking for the run. That's why the Spears, he looks way better out in the backfield because they can actually pass, he can run. They're doing more things with him. But when Derrick Henry's back there, they just know what they're going to want to do. He ran the ball 11 times for 20 yards. That's incredible. Incredible numbers. But also, Jerome Ford for the Browns ran the ball 10 times for 18 yards. So there was no running game. The Titans defense just got tired. And it's mainly because the Titans just kept giving the ball back. The Titans just kept going 3 and out. It was very lackadaisical. There was no excitement in the offense. There was nothing to keep the defense motivated throughout the game. Browns. I think you got to be thinking to yourself and looking around saying, this is our chance to, make a statement, solidify ourselves in this division, say that we're here. They're coming on the Ravens this week. From what I saw with the Ravens game, didn't watch all of it, watched the majority of it, but didn't watch all of it. Defense does a lot of stupid stuff, and Lamar Jackson can't throw. Lamar Jackson can throw dink and dunkers, but I watched Zay Flowers run in the back of the end zone. All he had to do was throw up a little fade to him in the back of the end zone, and instead he decided to try to run it for 12 yards instead. At one point in time, do you just say, maybe he isn't a completely, just pocket passer. He doesn't have that pocket passer awareness, and that's fine. But you have to admit, you have to be able to admit. No one's going to go out here and say that Cam Newton was all you can do, pocket passer. They try to say every time he's getting better in the pocket. Yeah, on short passes. We have to go down the field sometimes too. The only threat it really seems like they have going down the field is Mark Andrews across the middle. Outside of that, it's a lot of screens, a lot of running. So, with Gus Edwards already questionable now as well, I mean, you're gonna have to make the passing game a little bit more electric, especially with the Browns. We know the Browns can stop the run, so you gotta be able to pass the ball this coming week. Browns, I mean, off that Titans game, this is your time to kind of like make a statement, because you made a statement against the Titans. I mean, this was supposed to be a close game, and it was not close after the first quarter. Houston and Jags. I'll say this. I didn't watch the game a whole lot. There was just so many 1 o'clock games going on at one time. I did chime in every once in a while to see what the heck was happening. The Jags are in some kind of funk. Whether it's the new weapons they have on offense, whether or not it's trying to introduce every single, like trying to get Ridley involved with ETN. But at one point in time, during that game, ETN was the only one that was hitting his stride, making things happen. Feed him. Just keep giving him the ball. And screen plays and running plays, just keep giving him the ball. And you got one guy that's working and everyone else is struggling. Let them come up to speed and let the one guy take the reins as much as he can. It just didn't seem like they let him take the reins as much as he could. They kept taking the ball from him. You know, he had 19 carries, 88 yards. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot. That's really good. It's not exceptional, but it's really good. Especially when the team only had 116 yards rushing outside of him. The Jags basically had more first downs. They had more total yards. They did everything they were supposed to win a game. They just didn't win the game. They got to figure out this I can't convert in the red zone kind of situation. Like I said, you're playing in London against the Falcons. The Falcons have to get their own stuff together. You need to get both of your stuff together. Now, if we're going to compare the two teams who matches up better with against each other, I'm going to give a little edge to the Jags. We thought they were going to be a better team going into the season. That's in London. Jaguars fans are all over London. Jags love London. London is Jaguars' second home. So look for them to, in my opinion, look for them to actually like make a little bit of a noise while they're there. Maybe get their offense back in sync, because they desperately need that. But also, like, I think this is going to be a coming out game for both of their offenses trying to figure out something new. I think maybe you're going to see the Falcons basically say, hey, this isn't working. We got to go to Heineke. Heineke comes in there and is electric, because you know Heineke always comes into a game as an electric. And you're going to see the Jags actually score points in the end zone this time and not just allow 14, 17, 21 points just not be scored. So, Dolphins, Broncos, again, don't hate on me, but it was 70-20. It was 56-14 at one point. I didn't watch this game. I stopped watching. I stopped watching after it was 21-10. I just knew. And yeah, maybe I missed one of the greatest offensive masteries ever. Basically just running up the gut and running to the outside. But I'm okay with that. Colts, Ravens, I dabbed into a little bit for both these teams. Ravens, it was rainy. It was a yucky day. When it's a rainy, yucky day, Lamar Jackson doesn't know how to throw the ball. He just starts dunking all in the field, and he just tries to run all the time. He can't get his offensive groove because all he's doing is running. It's not that the offensive line's not blocking for him. He's just trying to make plays with his feet constantly over and over and over again. So I'm not blaming the defense on this one. I'm not even blaming the O-line. I'm blaming pretty much all Lamar. You got to just throw the ball. Gardner Minshew didn't have a problem getting the ball down the field. So you're going to tell me Gardner Minshew's not having a problem in the same game with the same ball, but you are. But you're the better quarterback. You're paid more. You're not supposed to be that. You're not supposed to let that happen. The last couple games here, did not watch the Bears and Chiefs. Sorry, not sorry. I saw that the Swifties were going to go crazy, and I said, hey, this ain't for me. I did watch a little bit of the Cardinals and Dallas game. Not a whole lot, but I did. What a game for the Cardinals. Like I said from other games earlier, it was due. They were due to have this win. They played so good in the last couple games. It was very clear Dallas was looking ahead. They weren't looking at this game. Dallas is looking at the Patriots game. They're thinking Oh man, Ezekiel Elliott in a weekend. We're gonna see our buddy. We're gonna destroy him. Pittsburgh and Raiders. I stopped watching this game in the third quarter and I went to sleep. By the score 23-18, it was a good choice. I saw a highlight that they went for it. I'm sorry, they didn't go for it when they were down by 8 and they kicked a field goal of 3 points instead. That pretty much tells you everything you need to know about the game plan, the strategy, everything. Throw it out the window. Questionable on all regards. Questionable on every asset of the game. Jets in New England. We're going to go back to these two games because these are a little bit more closer to my heart. Jets in New England. Jets need a quarterback. Do what you got to do to make it happen, but you need a quarterback. The defense is too good to allow the season just to be thrown at the wayside because this quarterback, Zach Wilson, is just incapable of doing anything. Patriots, good job on you getting your first win. Defense is keeping you in there. Mac Jones is very questionable and a little dirty. Carolina, Seahawks, just all around good running game, all around great game played by them. No hate. It is what it is. They're the better team. Panthers, too many turnovers, too many penalties. Way too many penalties, and injuries got the better of them. The one time the offense came to play, the defense did not come to play. Defense got banged up. They ran the ball, and they ran the ball, and they ran the ball, and they had chunk passes across the middle constantly, consistently. Carolina, I'm sorry. You did a good job. You played a good game. The offense came to show. I think all this does say, though, is that with Andy Dalton at the reins, they actually have a chance to win. Rams, Bengals. Sorry, Buccaneers. Eagles didn't really watch your game once the Rams game came on because it wasn't really close anymore, and I just couldn't do it. I couldn't put myself through another blowout. I'm not even gonna lie to it. But Rams, Bengals, and this is why I'll leave you guys all on this take right here. Rams, you gotta run the freaking ball. You ran the ball 10 whole times the whole game. You weren't even down most of the game. You were in the game. The game was close. It was competitive. It could have gone either way at multiple points in the game. You have to run the ball. I remember it was on 3rd and 1. And I was at this point I was in the shower, you guys. I was watching the game in the shower. I was that enticed into the game. And they went for it and they threw a ball. It's 3rd and 1. You don't have to throw. But in my head and in the shower, I was yelling out, you don't need to. Just run a draw play. Run a draw. Because it's a quarterback and the running back in the backfield. Run a draw. You're going to get the 1 yard. They tried to throw it instead. They didn't get it. Obviously, they didn't get it. And then it wound up being 3rd and 16. Because they had a face mask called on the play. Because they were trying to hold the ball too long to get the ball out to throw it. He had 2 interceptions. You ran the ball 10 times. You're going to have 2 interceptions and you're going to run the ball 10 times. They're not scared of your running game you can't even say the running game is not working. You didn't even give it a chance to work. We didn't know if it was going to work or not. You didn't give it a chance to work. So, Rams, you got to run the freaking ball. On the 3rd and 16, they ran the ball. I think they got 9 yards off the play. Dumpster fire at that point. It was pathetic. You can't throw the ball that many times. You're not the Carolina Panthers with Andy Dalton. Guess what? They didn't win the game either. So, Andy Dalton had a career high in passing yards. So, last takes across the weekend. Certain teams, you actually have to pay attention and you have to game plan for Cowboys. You can't just think you're going to beat up the Cardinals. Same thing goes to you, Jaguars. Same thing goes to you, Ravens. These teams just aren't cake. They're not just cakewalks. They're all NFL players for a reason. So, I'll leave you guys there. I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Have a great one. Smile, guys. Smile for everyone.